Hello and welcome to Joyride with your hosts, the Metaphysical Moms, Tiffany and Carrie. Joyride takes you on a spin through all things spiritual and soulful, including holistic healing, energy work, and personal development. Now, here are your hosts, Tiffany and Carrie.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to Joyride. We're
Almost
so
harmonized.
excited to have you here. Almost harmonized. It's hello.
Hello.
It is May 1st.
Show number 95.
Show number 95.
I got it in first.
And I'm Tiffany.
I'm Carrie.
We're the Metaphysical Moms. And today, another show we're so excited about.
We love everybody we have on. Well, except for that one. You guys can figure out which one it was.
Well, Mother's Day is coming up. We are Metaphysical Moms, and we have with us on the show today one of our most favorite Metaphysical Moms. And we're new friends because we've known about her for a very long time, but we're just now getting to meet her. And you guys, she needs no introduction because everybody on our show already knows who we're introducing. So welcome to Joyride, Miss Jamie Butler.
Jamie Butler's in the house.
Yay! Hi, Lumineers. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Carrie and Tiffany. This is wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. You are there in Hotlanta, Georgia. Is it hot?
Yes.
Is it hot? At the Center for Love and Light?
It's not really that hot today.
Not
Isn't it
yet.
weird?
You know, there's a big movement here in Atlanta to get people not to say that anymore. 'cause
Oh,
they don't
really?
like it.
Okay.
So
Cool Atlanta.
cool. Oh, God. We've been hanging out way too much. Okay, so
Repeat and repeat here.
I want to start with saying how, so Tiff calls me one day, this is 2.5, 3 years ago, and she's
Probably.
like, oh, you have to listen. There's this guy that took his life, and there's this medium that brings him in. I'm like, I don't want to listen to that. That scares me. You know, I mean, losing a child, that I can't imagine a worse thing. And so I finally did tune in, and I just fell in love with you. So I already feel like you're my friend.
I
So,
know, you're my friend.
and it really...
Soul sisters.
That's it. That's it. Well, you are sort of the hub. There, we have had so many people, either on the show or who tune into the show, like Terry and Mitch.
Terry's
who say,
saying hi.
Yes.
Mitch is
Hi,
saying
Terry.
hi.
Hi,
These
Mitch.
are all your people, too.
Yeah.
And yeah,
There
we're
are
all
people,
one
too.
big family, how we've
know.
all joined in. So you were talking about channeling Eric, which where a lot of us met you through, but you've been a medium for years, long
26 years
before
now? 25
channeling
years?
Eric.
Yeah, 27 years.
Holy moly.
It's crazy.
So
I'm a
not old
baby.
enough. You're just not old enough.
You are. Well, I think you were saying, because in your book is With Love and Light. It's your story,
a good
your
book.
memoir that you wrote about your coming of age with all of these gifts. And you've always been very in tune with your metaphysical side and gone into acupuncture and,
Reiki.
massage and Reiki and hypnotherapy.
Hypnosis.
So you've always been very tuned in as a healer.
I have. So right out of the gate, 18, kind of hit the public platform, tried to figure out who I was, and I've been doing this my own way ever since. Because back then, we don't even think 27 years being that long ago, but back then, as a nation, we weren't really into this.
No.
The woo-woo was still woo-woo. It wasn't true.
And now
So
we
it
know
was-
it's true.
you know?
She's about to burst into tears. Every time you say that, there's
For some
something
reason.
about it.
I know. I was watching. There's a sweet clip, and you say that at the end, and I think I'm a little hormonal because it was like, oh, I love that. I'm okay. No. I just did my makeup. I don't really wear makeup that often. It's like I can't cry. But okay, so that is actually one of my questions. Do you feel? I know that as a country we're much more open, but the energy though. It seems like it's easier to access. Or is it just because we're aware? But it feels like the vibration has come up to a place where we can access more.
Oh, I completely agree. I kind of hoped we were going to get into this.
Oh, good.
Because this is the month of May, celebrating Mother's Day. Thank you, Hallmark, for creating those holidays for us. But the overall feel of what's been happening in our nation is coming away from the patriarchal society and coming more into the feminine divine, call it the moon cycle, the flexible energy. And when this energy is when it ebbs and flows, think about it, it's got to go through all the vibrational levels. So we're going to come across everybody's needs because we're presenting all of the different vibrations. When we're more aligned to a masculine or patriarchal society, they're more into set rules, boundaries, secure that way, and only presenting a certain level of vibration.
Right.
So it's pretty spectacular to come in from the feminine side. Are you hearing me okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And I so agree with that, because it is it's so funny. As you said that, I saw a big pot and I saw a lid go honk on top of the pot when you said men. You know, it's like, yes, everything must be contained. Anyway, do you have something?
No, I think that's beautiful. I love that we're moving into that, and I'm wondering
I don't know
if
what's happening on my side.
Oh, we need to wiggle it just a little bit. There you are. You're back. Okay.
Hi.
We're going to
It's
ask.
just completely frozen. It doesn't say anything over here. I've asked Spirit to step back.
Okay,
I've
maybe
asked
that's what it is.
everyone to push back.
Step back, clear the decks. We
Yeah.
need our techie angels to come and make these lines
Come on,
of
Steve.
communication clear.
Dude, even though you're all plugged in, internet, power, everything.
Tested it, it's
Spirit
fine.
Can just come in
jack
and
with
just
it.
change that situation for you.
Seriously. Oh, I remember that. You were talking, I think it was you had Crisp, and listen to me. And you were talking to Jesus, and all of a sudden it did. I mean, you kind of started to tear up, and everything kind of froze, and you're like,
You're
okay,
like, back
you have to
up,
take a
step back, please.
That's really cool.
Isn't it?
So no, that. Okay, I have to tell you too that last night I love to connect with folks, and maybe this is a little bit of an invasion, and I try not to do that. Like, I'm aware when I connect. You have a bubble the size like concrete around you, and I wasn't trying to like invade. I was just
Knocking on the
trying
door.
to connect, going, "Hi, I can't wait to see you tomorrow." And there was just this concrete bubble around you.
She's got a
I said,
window
"No,
looking out.
mm-mm,
Who
no,
is it?"
Sorry, sorry.
I'm sure that with
I
the amount of
groom my energy every day, every morning and every night.
And as a medium, you're so in connection with different spirits and vibrations. You must need to be very hygienic with that.
Yeah, I love that. Spiritually
Take a bath.
hygienic.
Spiritually
Take a
hygienic.
shower.
We'll be releasing that product line soon.
That's the next class. You do actually have a spray called Clean. Is that what it is?
It's your spiritual hygiene.
Me. I am. I'm addicted to it. That's why I decided to go ahead and bottle it and share it with others. I love it so much.
Oh, that's so cool.
I have not seen that. Well, let's talk about your website, because that's where we can find everything that we're talking about today. Is your website, your Lighter Side Network. Your Love and Light Institute, the Center for Love and Light. You've got like all these, like your signature must. Like,
You make me tired. I see everything you've done, and it's like, how?
Okay, I'm going to do the quick intro. The Center for Love and Light, it's in Atlanta. That's where you take Reiki, mediumship, channeling, and it's a home to make everybody feel comfortable learning about themselves. Your
Yes.
Love and Light Institute, it's your nonprofit where you give back a lot of opportunities to learn more about spirit. You're the author of With Love and Light, this is your story, and then the Channeling Eric books, My Son in the Afterlife, Life After Death, which you co-authored with Eric Medhus. Your Lighter Side Network, which is your viewer-funded network. I love it. I've been a member since, I don't know, last year. And I love it. You know when you want to watch something that's just really good, other than our Joyride show, you want to watch something that's just really good that you know is
Shameless
going to
plug.
be enlightening and entertaining. I love tuning in to your shows because it's just a guaranteed good time.
Thank
So,
you.
shameless plug. But your Lighter Side show, where you are talking about energy, spirituality, and you channel Grace and Maitland and Sai. Oh my gosh. Your cast of characters are about as diverse as you can get, I think.
I don't know why they're all attracted and allowing me to trans-channel them, but
Really?
grateful.
Oh my gosh. I just
think it's a
imagine your body
vibrational
when you've got Maitland and she's wiggling and moving your stuff
Drawing
and
on
playing
you.
with everything. And then you have Grace comes in and she's like, oh gosh, Maitland, she's tough on my body. She's tough on your body.
She
She
says
does
that,
that.
doesn't she?
She does. She's like, oh, Maitland was here. We love Maitland. Okay, and then you have all these other wonderful ladies that you have co-created this network with, Dr. Karen and Laura Boone, Dr. Kate Edwards, Julia Spinoli, Darshan Patel. Oh my gosh, Ursula. I love the show you did with Ursula where you had the Ken and Barbie. You were talking about relationships and trying to explain the concepts of it. Oh my gosh, they're just so good and so entertaining. And so it's a subscription-based network where you can go online 24/7 access to all this content and classes. And so tell me how did the network come to be?
I think really all of it, all
Yes.
of this came
Yes.
to be because I wanted it and nobody else was doing it. And I look at, even when I teach my classes, we had advanced mediumship last weekend, I acknowledged the room was all set up. I brought out all the crystals, maybe 30 different variations, handfuls of them so that you could use, 5, 6, 10 of them in a layout. So I keep my office well stocked for that reason. I like to incorporate touch, play, engagement. And I stepped back and I looked at my assistant Colleen and I go, God, what I wouldn't have given if somebody did that for me when I was 18 and going, what is this?
Yeah.
What's happening energetically? Why am I reacting to that piece of wood? That's crazy. Why am I, responding to this airspace over here and welling up with tears? What is going on? And when I was moving to Atlanta, I was, 25, 26. And there wasn't anything like that here. There were classes that were being held, but the instructors, they'd already been here for several decades, and they were kind of like, who are you? And you look really young, and what are you doing? You're kind of breaking the boundaries here. We have our space. And I was renting in really old hotel rooms and church basements, and it was just moldy and not the way I wanted to present a non-secular, all-inclusive space.
Yeah.
Like, this has got to be our norm. Our traditional 5 senses are considered normal. Why can't our 6th sense be just as normal as that? Why? So, created the center, and that took off really well. I wanted to get into media. I'd been shopped by different networks. I'm actually being shopped right now by BBC, and they said I could mention it, but I can't mention anything else. So, fingers crossed. I'm pretty excited about this.
Oh, okay, sending you
Oh,
good
Jamie.
juju for the BBC hookup, whatever that it turns into.
Yes, and I really liked the way they pitched it. It was out of total love and care for their concept and for the medium, whereas when the American networks present it, it's more like, we're going to make you famous, we're going to give you some money, we're going to make you the new reality TV. And I'm like, ooh, no, not interested. Don't need it. So I'm excited about this one. But, with those pitches from US, nothing really resonated. And I was like, I just feel like our audience, and I'm sure you get this on your show, we have an intelligent audience.
Absolutely.
You have viewers that are like, oh my God, I want to learn something. Give it to me, girls.
Yes.
Like, where is it?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, of course I'll feed you that. But when we get into networks, it's more for entertainment. It plays
Money.
to the numbing of the mind
Yeah.
and not the boosting of it. So
I love that.
I've backed off and created the Lighter Side Network. We'll see where that goes. We're only 1 year old.
Well, if you have the intention for it, and with the integrity and the light that's coming out, I have no doubt you are forging your own path, and we are right there on board with you.
Going, woohoo!
Yes.
Cheering you on.
Ditto. I'm right
Well, and
behind
you can meet
guys.
people at every level. You can have the total beginner who's like, wait, what's going on over there? And then you can have the people who have been on this path for a while. There's something for everybody on the Lighter Side Network and the whole Love and Light
thank
Center.
you.
Okay, speaking of, for everybody that's joining us today, this is Facebook Live. If you share the live feed, the live show.
Not Facebook dead. Well, we're that too.
Yeah. Well, we'll go either way. Live, dead, doesn't matter. If you share it, at the end of the show, we're going to give away 2 Lighter Side year-long subscriptions.
Yes.
So stay tuned to the end of the show. Make sure you hit share, because there's so many people on the spiritual journey that need to know about these beautiful resources that are just sitting here waiting to be enjoyed. And we want to help make that happen today.
Well, because you don't know what you don't know. And so if they've never had an opportunity to come across you for whatever reason, they're living in Tajikistan somewhere, I can't imagine who wouldn't have an opportunity to find you, because you're everywhere. And that's really cool. Can we talk about, I want to ask you something. So
Yeah.
this is how she and I bounce around. Your husband. This morning I was thinking about, how did that conversation go the first time you're dating this man, you really like him? Oh, and by the way, you have a grandmother here. I mean, how did did he already know this about you when he met you? That you have these incredible gifts? No.
He did not know.
And I can read your mind, by the way.
By the way, you're turning green.
Apparently, he was really into me for a long time, which I did not know. And we stayed best friends for about 3.5, 4 years. Never mentioned to him I did any of this. He was the one friend I told everything to except this part of my life. Because every other corner of my life had it. And I was like, what would it be like to be without that? Like, he just saw me for a friend. He didn't need anything from me. It was such an equal balance. It was incredible. And I had an opportunity to go down to Bahia in Brazil. This scientific study group flew me down, probed, put all the things on me, measured my mediumship mind and how I communicate, and it was pretty fascinating. And my husband's family lives in Recife, just a little north of Bahia, and he goes, why don't we meet there? Why don't we come together? And I said, oh, I would love that. So we went down there. I don't speak any Portuguese, no Spanish, some French. Didn't help. And so I get down there, and we're standing in his home with his mother, and they're going back and forth in Portuguese. And I'm watching them, and I'm realizing this is a conversation I actually want to be in. And they're kind of arguing. And I went, excuse me, well, what's happening? Well, there's a seance tonight, and I told my mother that you're not going to understand, and we're not going to go to things like that, that she can go by herself. And I was like, please, 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 pick me. I'll go. Like, we dressed in white, and I said, listen, I can see those things, and I can hear those things. He goes, it's going to be all in Portuguese. I go, yeah, but spirit, I can hear in English. That's totally fine. I'll prove it to you. Give me a notebook and a pen, and I'll sit there, and I'll translate all the spirit, and I'll draw them for you, just so I can show you that I can, be in that world. Fine. So they put the American girl, who doesn't understand anything, in the corner of the seance room. I did not know, guys, seances down there, they're like 4 hours long.
Oh, wow.
I'm thinking like an hour, No,
before you go.
they smoke everything out. They bring in food. Everybody,
It's a party.
It's a party. It's insane. I loved it. So I sat in the back, and there were spirits in random places. Like up on a wall, there'd be a spirit, and I'm like, what was going on? I was like, well, there's one on the wall, and I drew it. And so then I turned in my papers like some kind of schoolgirl. I was like, here you go, let's hit the beach. He was like, okay. So we got halfway to the beach, and the owner of the seance place comes screaming at us. Oh, my God, she's running. Come back, come back. So we come back in, and she goes, I've been praying for a sign to someone to tell me that the work I'm doing is real, because I'm having these moments of doubt, and I'm going to close the place of worship. And they had sat down and graded my papers and decided that, like most everything, 98% of what I said and saw was accurate, and that they explained to me in their Umbanda, their practice of spirituality, that the spirits have altars. Like, you could draw or have a piece of art on the wall, and that is that spirit's altar, and they will always show up where that art is.
Oh.
Or that bench is an altar. So there's everyday items that hold spirit tethers that will bring in that particular guide or being. And I was able to locate all of them and then translate everything in spirit, what was being said.
Wow.
So then my husband, or my dear friend at that time, I think this is the trip that we actually really got together. He looked at me and he goes, you just validated my entire childhood. I used to just think we went to these things because that was just what we did. And I would listen to them and go, okay, yeah, that's fine. But you say they're real. So he had a real mind twist about that. All of a sudden.
It makes me cry.
I know.
Ta-da! So he looks at me differently now, but he told me, he's like, this is how I was raised. This is just what we do. And he said, so you fit right in with my family and everything. We're good. And he's never, ever questioned it ever since.
I wouldn't doubt that for a second.
What a
what a beautiful story. I like it.
Thank
Glad I
God
asked
he was Brazilian, raised with it, because I would not know it in a more American culture.
Okay, so
It's hard to present still.
it is hard. I mean, I have a new friend that it's like, I'm interviewing Da Vinci. And so I was working with Emma. And she's like, okay. So we keep doing CrossFit, keep doing what we're doing. She's like, so are you coming to this? Oh, no, I have my interview with Da Vinci. Okay. I'm like, oh, okay. So then afterwards, last night, she said, I'm not sure what to do with that. Now, did you mean the Da Vinci? You have an okay, so what are we doing next week with it's just like, phew, like just doesn't, but she's like the one person that is not into any of this. Sometimes it is kind of fun having
We call them our muggles.
our muggle
Our muggle friends.
Oh my God,
great.
that's brilliant. You're muggles.
Our Muggle friends. That's all right. We all have them, and they're they just not
Okay.
interested, not going there. It's totally fine.
Oh, it's fun.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. So we want to say hi. There's a bunch of people joining us on Facebook Live, and Emmanuel in Belgium. She is
Emma.
Emma McIntosh is one of our dear friends, and she's an excellent medium too. And she's saying, please say hello to Jamie for me.
And Carrie
Silver Lining.
She
Nina.
gave you a hickey in L.A., she said. Anyway. Yeah, that's what she said.
It
She
sounds
wrote
like
it.
that's an insight TMI on that one. Okay, so we were talking about Mother's Day coming up. We're all metaphysical moms, and this being a mother has just been so transformative, obviously, in our lives. But there's something about this divine, feminine mother energy that is so powerful and so strong and so gentle, and it has me doing things that I never in a million years thought I would be doing.
Really?
I just wanted to kind of talk about that.
Like what?
Wait, like what? Yeah, what pieces?
I don't know, just this morning, one kid needs this, one kid needs this, and I'm just sort of moving heaven and earth to kind of balance.
Time out. She calls me at 9, and she says, okay, I've already been to the store. I've dropped off one kid. I've
Taken
dropped
one to the pediatrician,
the guinea pig
the guinea
off.
pig's getting neutered, wash the car. I mean, it's like, just like getting all this stuff
And she was
done.
at the doctor when, yeah.
But I wasn't going to be late for the show. But to do this for our kids, to give them the opportunity to be who they are meant to be, I don't know. I find myself just digging the deepest that I've ever dug in any shape in my life. This love that I have is so strong, and it's so infuriating sometimes. I don't know. I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about the divine mother energy today and what that's like for you.
Yes, I would link it right back to the short conversation we had about the energy of the earth. You know, where we're presenting all vibrational levels. You know, when we come in with an expectation, an assumption, with a concept or an idea, and all those things are very masculine energy, not saying that it's good or it's bad, that's the judgment part of it, just saying the quality of that energy is that way. And when you come at it, you're kind of not allowing the other possibilities to show their face. So when we're diving into our absolute love, it's engaging all the vibrations in the body. I've been seeing a lot with my students and some of my, I don't know if I want to call them healing sessions, but where I'm working with people and I'm observing them more, because there is more energy shift now than I've seen in my entire life. And I know I'm not like 150 years old, but that's big.
You've been doing this a while.
Because I've been, as a kid, I've been watching energy, speaking to deceased and loved ones. And in the last maybe 5 to 6 years, people's energies have gone completely opposite, completely changing. And I'm noticing now, as we're getting out of like a patriarchal ruling and we're getting in more to the healing of the wounds, that we're moving into putting our energy in the middle of our bodies, the Sushumna line, the neutral line. And that neutral line attaches all those chakra centers, those energy centers, the wheels of light. And when we do that, we're able to engage with our kids, our difficult situations, the dude that cut us off in the car, we're able to engage with them, not coming at one perspective, but instant possibility. Oh my God, somebody might be pregnant in that car and need to get in front. And all of a sudden we're not triggering to defend, we're embracing and accepting. It's no longer a triggering society, we're approaching an accepting society. And that's all from the divine feminine energy. Like, I can't wait for a few more years to really see it solidify.
Well, that's exactly what I always say. Every now and then I'll touch my heart, because if I get from here to here, this part knows empathy, kindness. This part just is just full of all my stories. So I try to drop into the heart, which is what you're saying. I've never heard that word though. The Shuma line.
Shishumna line.
Shashuna.
You spell it just like you want
Sounds
to
like
say it.
sushi.
Shishumna line.
Shishumna line.
Yeah, different cultures have different names for it. You can call it the Hara line. You can call it basically the neutral line. It's the axis, just like the Earth has the axis that it spins around. We have a beam of light that goes to the top of our head out the base of the spine, and it's a neutral line. It is not wired vibrationally to a positive quality nor to a negative quality. It's just wired neutral. So when we live there, that's that feeling that we get when we're grounded, when we're centered. That's exactly what this is. And you're allowed to have those really intense, amazing conversations with people without like being totally overwhelmed emotionally. And you leave and you go, God, that was good. You know, you kind of praise yourself for it. You're like, I got my point across and I didn't feel like I was a victim or anything. I just was really aligned with it. Well, you were in the center. You're on the Shishumna line.
Yeah, we had a pretty amazing conversation last year with Dr. Deb Kern, and we were talking about the divine feminine energy, but there's a wounded feminine energy and the healed feminine energy. And if you're wounded, it can come across as bitchy or cold or hard, but when it's a healed, it's firm, but it's loving and it's strong,
it's kind
and
of
it's
a badass.
fair and it's badass. But it's different than the masculine, which has also a wounded and a feminine. So it was just interesting to see how, as we come together as healed feminine energy, it's so strong and powerful and beautiful. And I'm so glad to feel like we're bringing it back.
It's just gaining. It's just gaining.
Now, is that just a natural evolution of the life cycle, or is that the shift that's coming in? We're swinging back to feminine, or are we trying to get in the middle where it's kind of equal, or are we? Where do you see?
From what I've heard from spirits and from what I can view from my opinion, we used to be a highly matriarchal society.
Yeah.
And then we swung very firm to patriarchal, and now we're coming back. The pendulum is swinging back, as you say. But I don't think we're going to hit that neutral yet. I think we have to swing heavily back into feminine before we really decide, oh, those beautiful qualities over there in the patriarchal, the masculine that we need to have, and then we'll slowly bring it back together.
Oh, see, and I think that is Yogananda. First time I saw him, I thought he was a she, and they said no, that's because he had that so perfectly exactly in line, and so he embodied both sides. So I love that. I just love that. It is. See, and now, do you think? A lot of what I hear and a lot of what I read and what I know is that a lot of this also has to do with where we are in space, and that we are coming back in and we're waking up as we come back in. Like at one point we were so far out there, the Earth was, we were so far out there, and that's when we became so dense and so asleep. And out of that, I get it, because out of that you still have to have rule, you still have to have law, and so there come the rules. There comes the patriarchy. Is that the way you say that? Patriarchy?
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And so now that we're coming back in and everybody sort of wakes up, it kind of brings that higher light in, higher vibration.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I look forward to the rules and the boundaries to be traded in for the meeting of needs. Because I find when we built our nonprofit, we decided, my business partner and I, Corey, decided, okay, we're going to use nonviolent communication, NVC. I think I was first introduced to it through Eric, and I started to study it, and then I got into a class, and I'm in the process of being certified. It takes about 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
And in that, it's all about meeting the needs of the company, of the people, of the board members. Granted, we were in that course for a whole year. It took 3 times as long to make that company. It was ridiculous. But we did it with every bit of awareness that all the needs were met. Never experienced anything like that. So now when we're in our center and we have 4 other companies working here, there's no competition. There's no stepping on each other's toes. When you have a need to be met, you can just call it right out, and it's received so gracefully, even though it can be very blunt and straightforward. We understand where they're coming from because we've developed that line of communication. I'm like, oh my God, if a crazy group of gals, these entrepreneurial women, can do it, why can't we expand that a little bit broader? What would it look like if we had it in our schools? What if our government actually used this? And no longer do we need the rules to tell the people how to behave, but we ask the question, what do you need? And how can we help you meet those needs without creating sacrifice? What would it be like?
Drop the mic. She's done.
What would that be like in my home? I mean,
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
but I mean, that's my children. My youngest one is just giving me fits right now, and it is that. I mean, his first thing is to go whack, and it's like, you know, and it is. It's what is going on in that beautiful big old brain of yours, you know, and it. So I want to know more about that. But you asked me that this morning.
On your Lighter Side Network, you have some shows about nonviolent communication. So you have you already are talking that language and teaching it. But when you get certified, what will that look like? What will you, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's fine.
What
So
will that,
wonderful.
I'm writing it down.
I'll be able to hold the NVC courses. I can train myself. Right now we're holding compassionate communication courses as I build the hours.
and we're back. Jamie's back. Okay, so
Hi.
what was that, do you think, when energy just blips and we just go with it, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy. I have complete connection to internet on Ether. I'm plugged in. And it looks like you guys were trying to call me, but not
never
even
rang.
ringing on this side. It's like it blocked down.
That's all right. Well, we're back with Jamie
Pull
Butler.
my energy back too.
We're back. No worries.
All of a sudden, you'll
And
just pop up.
We often say things don't have to be perfect. Just do it. Just get out there and do what you love, and everybody's just forgiving. It's no big deal. Okay, so we're back with Jamie Butler. We're talking about the divine feminine energy and how it switched from the pendulum swinging all the way from patriarchal, and we're coming back into the matriarchal, and how good that feels. We were talking about nonviolent communication. And
Divine feminine energy and how it switched
oh,
from
there I am. I can hear myself.
I hear Tiffany.
I hear myself.
It's like I can hear you.
We were talking about your nonviolent communication courses.
So she can see us. Oh,
Yeah, now I can see you.
Now you can see us.
are you on Facebook Live now watching the show?
I am. I'm geeking out on you guys.
We're like bouncing off satellites all over the globe here.
I have a question too. Now, talking about this energy and it going up and down. So we talk a lot about the shift, bum 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 bum, or ascension, or whatever you want to call it. It's all sort of the same thing. What is your view on that?
It's a great big question.
Yeah. Okay. Bite size.
I'm
So
totally in for it. But I've heard it I've heard it delivered so many different ways. Some people say the shift is happening where masses of people are going to exit, and some people are going to raise their energy and some people aren't. So I don't know if I sign up for all of those details,
Yeah.
but I do sign up that there is some awakening that's happening.
yeah.
I like to imagine, the soft, beautiful, energetic woman going around to every person going, wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon. Yeah, it's time
you
to get up spiritually. Here
You
go.
said in the last few years that you've seen people have dramatic shifts in their energy more than anything.
Yes.
So maybe that's how it's presented
That
right
is
now
it.
for you. Yeah.
Well, and,
Yes.
and I've had, I mean, we have covered this on a few shows, and I have come to realize that I believe it is a personal inside. It's a vibrational match. It's like the higher you go, the easier it is to access that energy, and your life can tend to look different. But maybe the stuff that shows up to be cleared is not always fun to walk through, but it's there to present to be cleared. If you have a thorn and it you get all blistery, it's just saying, hey, take the thorn out. And then you take the thorn out and you're fine. So I that's the way I view this uncomfortable time sometimes. I understand that right now this energy is hitting the earth that is just sort of digging stuff up for folks, which can be great.
It can be great. Maitland was really cool about it one day. She said this upheaval, where we thought in our culture we were kind of maybe over racism, or we've healed the wound a bit, or we were kind of over women's rights, that there was already equality happening. And with all of this political stance coming up, and people's viewpoints coming forward, she says it's kind of like when you get a really deep wound and it scabs over, and you're like, oh, it's healing, but then it never really heals, and then the scab comes off and all the pus comes up out of it, which is not really a great visual if you want to hold on to that.
We've all seen it.
But we know what yeah.
Yeah, but like when we get all of that out, which I like to say that it's we're listening to everybody's voice. Maybe the majority said, "All right, we've got this racism thing healed now. Everybody be quiet. We're good." And that wasn't really the all-inclusive thing to do, but many people were like buttoning it up. Now they're coming off of the fields, out of the mountains, out of their homes, and they're really speaking up, and we're able to hear them. So it may feel worse than what it is because we're listening to all the voices now.
Right.
But I think we're just as far along as we were before in the healing process. We're just getting to those who felt like they couldn't be heard before.
Oh, I love the
Yeah,
way
that
you say
everybody's having a voice. And now with the internet and everybody's got a camera, everybody can have a voice. There's so many more people that have a platform and can be heard and taken seriously. I love that.
So can I bring up your daughter? You
Yes.
Okay, she did her first meditation, and has she gone back in?
No.
Oh, baby, really?
No, she's so disappointed.
She was expecting the angels to appear. And,
like mama.
yeah.
Music or something to happen. She would not share with me her expectation of it, but my daughter, she's 10. She has sensitivities to energy. She's not 100% kind of in it and wrapped around the world like myself and my son was until about the age of 10 when he told me one day, he goes, "Mom, is it okay if I just don't talk to the dead people as much?" And I was like, "Baby, that's your choice. Of course it's okay, I'm going to hang in there with you." So my fingers are still like secretly crossed in the background that he might come forward with that when he graduates and goes to college and decides that it's valuable to him. So my daughter, when she approached me, she was like, "All right, Mom, I see these energies. I now have a girlfriend who's my age that talks about spirit, and this is the first friend that can have that conversation with her without feeling woo-woo." And she's like, "I'm ready to learn how to do this." And I told her, "Well, meditation is the first place to begin." She was like, "Great, great." She was all gung-ho. "We're going to meditate tonight. I'm so excited." So I used the meditation that my guide, Maitland, who's 9, taught me several years back, and it works wonders. It has a little waiting area for spirit. Got her all the way through it, got back, and she was just like, she buttoned it. I was like, "Well, we're going to go eat dinner and everything." She didn't talk to me through dinner. She didn't talk to me after dinner. She's getting into bed. She kind of cut the eyes because I'm like, "I love you, Boo Bear." I do that smoochy mom thing that I love. And she just, I was like, "Are you going to talk to me about this?" She goes, "No." I said, "Did you have an expectation of what it would be like?" I said, "Well, when you got on your bike for the first time, did you just take off and never fall?" She was like, "No." I said, "Well, this is the same thing. Let's get back on the bike. Let's get back on the meditation. You let me know when you're ready." It's been a week now. She's not ready.
Well,
But we'll see.
Now, can Maitland maybe work with her?
Yes, Maitland has shown up for her. She'll ask me every now. When she was much younger, she would go, Who's the other little girl? Who's the other little girl?" And I go, "Well, that's Maitland." So she'd wave, and that was about the most of the communication. But they do know each other. And I've asked the spirits, my guides at least, to move at the kids' pace.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want them bombarding them, overwhelming them. I wanted my kids to have a say-so of this is my speed, which is hard to do.
I love how you have a foot in both worlds. You have a
truly
total
do.
foot in the metaphysical world. It's what you do as your full-time job, and you're teaching everybody and your children. But you're also running business, and you're running the show. I mean, you have got a foot very planted in both worlds. It's a beautiful example of how to do that. I want to be
Thank
Jamie
you.
when I grow up.
That's
I know,
happening.
me too.
Why not?
keep
I'm not going to
trying.
grow up, so
All of a
I'm
sudden
older
I
than you,
am.
so I don't know how that works.
I'm
but
older
yeah.
than you too, but we can go backwards,
we
age-wise.
totally go backwards. Like we can share, like all of us are barefoot right now.
Yeah, we
I
all
mean,
are all barefoot.
Our
We're gonna share
maturity
feet.
level, I think, has peaked somewhere, and this is the
14.
maturity level that we're going to keep for the rest
Arrested
of our lives.
development, right?
I think mine was about 18. Okay, here's an off question. I guess I need a quick qualifying it. Have you ever seen the guy in the trench coat and the bowler hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too when I was a kid. I was about 9 or 10, and I looked outside and I was like, oh, who's that guy? Anyway, I was just wondering if you've ever seen him.
We've talked about
I
him before,
have.
the Watchers. Somebody called him the Watchers.
I've heard people say, "Oh, he's scary." I wasn't. I was scared there was a guy down there, but I wasn't. And I asked my mom a couple years ago. She's like, "Yeah, it freaked me out." And so I've read all different kinds of things, but I think he was just there to take a peek and see what's going on. So anyway.
Wait, you saw them like as a real person?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
I've seen them in spirit.
It was a spirit. You're saying you saw him as a spirit, but he looked real.
All I know
Trench
is
coat,
I was
bowler hat.
the wrong direction. My head where my feet was, and I looked downstairs, and we lived sort of in the country at the time, and there was a guy in a trench coat, bowler hat, bright moon, and he was looking up, and we locked eyes, and I was like, okay, if I don't move, he won't see me. And anyway, then I fell back asleep. I was just wondering. Every now and then I'm compelled to ask it, and twice that I've asked it, both folks have said, yes, I've seen him.
This would really be a great research. I'd be in for that.
Bowler hat guy?
Oh, let's do a show.
Yeah, just to
let's ask
see,
questions.
what are they there for? How many people have had that experience? Did anything follow through with it? Because for me, it was always more than arm's length distance away. It was never a conversation. It was just kind of like when you live in the city and you look up and you see someone kind of off to the side that's observing you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It was always that feeling.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the way I felt.
Sharon is saying her husband sees a guy in a hat, but she says he's nice.
See? Anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people are chiming in saying they've seen him too. So that would be an interesting conversation to have.
Who is that?
Yeah.
Who's the guy?
I love it. Okay, well, today we're talking more about the feminine
Yes.
mother.
It's like, but I have
energy.
Jamie here. I wanna ask her,
know,
pepper
I
her
know,
with questions.
I know.
So we recently lost Barbara Bush. We didn't lose her. We know where she is, but
She
she's
used
crossed.
to live right here, a couple miles from the studio here in Houston, beloved in Houston, Texas, United States. Obviously, she was just an amazing first lady for us, and we are, I don't know, just very loving of her. I hope she's received that love since she's transitioned, because she was an amazing mother.
That the day of her funeral,
Yes.
it was felt here.
Was it?
That's how big the energy was bursting from Houston.
Wow.
And I remember I was out setting up for an expo, and it's just I paused and I had the most sweetest feeling and just smiled. I'm like, what's going on today? I had to turn on the radio, turn on the TV. I'm like, why am I feeling this like immense deep peace and acceptance and love? And they were talking about her funeral. I was like, there you have it.
Well, if Barbara wants to pop in and say hi, we'd sure love to chat with her.
Oh, I have been trying to reach
she
out to her,
popping in?
just to at least say, how much we
Hi.
appreciate everything she's done.
Yeah, not putting you on the spot, but we had said maybe she would be an interesting interview now that, because she said,
really would.
George W. had said, don't worry about us. We're good. My mom believed in an afterlife. We're all at peace. She's at peace. So I'd love to get her, just her advice, her insight from the afterlife now that she's had her transition. I mean, it's just recent, it's just been a week.
It has just been a week. Whenever I tune in with her, she's surrounded by so much light, many people.
Yeah.
And it's not so much like I'm famous, here's my followers. It's more of a collective gathering to heal and to help each other. So it's not just all focused on her. She's participating like she enjoys doing. The only statement that I got from her was to carry on with the work that you believe in. And it wasn't so much a keep doing what you're doing. It's like she was giving you permission to make the changes, to allow yourself to do the work you believe in. And if you're not aligning with it, to not. And I had a short conversation with her. Basically, it was those few sentences, and then it was out. And I was hoping she would come in for the live session today, but I don't really see her.
That's okay. Yeah, she's got her stuff going on. I mean,
it's so funny. I feel this pressure, like this icky pressure right here.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, okay. What else?
well, so tell us what you've got going on next. Oh, you got something coming in. You're looking up in the...
Oh, there's spirits coming in, and I'm reminding them, please step back.
Don't mess with the technology. Is there anybody that's got a great insight from mother energy from heaven?
Mother
Like,
Mary.
stand against the wall.
See, or do you have to discern, like, okay, not now, people, or, oh, you're here for the show? I mean, how do you
know?
discern?
Oh, it's weird. It's not really a conversation. It's like you just know it right away. So it's not like, are you here? I know that this crew over here are view. I don't even know who you are, but you're here watching. Hi. This is Tiffany's mother.
Hi, Mom.
With her hair.
Oh.
This is the short lady. Oh my God, I feel like I should know this, and I'm about to be embarrassed. Mother Theresa.
Oh, hello, Mother Theresa.
I do feel embarrassed that I didn't know that right away. She's wearing white. She has a blue
Yes, the
Her white
blue
with
stripe. Yes,
Yep.
the blue stripe.
on her head, or a double blue stripe. There's
Yep.
some, it's like a fat part right there. She's not very tall.
She's tiny.
No, she's tiny, but
itty-bitty.
what a powerhouse. She was able to speak for so many people who were suffering and nurtured and loved and cared for them in their time of suffering.
What's going on?
Wow. Well, you can see her hands, and they're not like elegant little
They were
dainty
working
They're working hands.
They're like
almost like
knotted. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got them out of her sleeve. She's holding something in front of her. I don't really know what that is. It looks like honestly, it looks like a bundle of wheat or something. Like a yellow golden with
Yeah.
soft fuzzy stuff at the end. I don't know what that symbolizes, and I'm ready to listen if you want to tell me. Mother Teresa's, she's saying hello.
Hello, Mother Teresa. Thank you for coming today.
Believe it or not, she's not that conversational.
Okay.
Which I'm surprised. So I'm getting giddy, but they're not laughing.
Okay.
Please don't think that we're like buddying right now. That's not going on. Her eyes are looking right through me, and it's like, yeah. She's sending many blessings to the people who are listening. She's sending many blessings to those in need. She's asking if everybody would call forth their love. I feel like I'm getting schooled. She's talking at a faster pace, so I'm just going to
Please.
paraphrase, 'cause
Yeah.
I've already. So she's being very firm that calling forth your love is not a weakness and it's not a vulnerability. That if you're calling forth your love, it is out of the need of doing what you know needs to be done. If you see someone who is hungry, feed them. If you see someone who is in need, help them. If you see someone who, and she carries on with all kinds of, if you see it, then you are the one responsible to follow through. So she's asking for all the listeners to choose to not be blind. Choose to see. Choose to see, she says. She gives over the, I'm going to call it wheat. It's really, really golden. She sets it down on the floor. She's giving it out, and it's coming down on the floor. She said she's laid the path for you. There's nothing wrong with following. She says thank you. Oh my God, she's leaving.
Thank you, Mother Teresa.
Tiffany, your mom.
Hi, Mom.
Thank you.
Thank you. She saved you.
She's standing next to her, which your mom looks like, gorgeous tall next to.
Oh.
So
and my mom
she's
was not that tall either.
She was like, oh my God.
Mother, do you know who that is? Do you know who that is?
Oh, I love it. Your mom's shoulders, they're back and they're squared. She has really nice posture.
She does, yes. Hi, Mom.
Reminds me to sit up.
Yes, that's straight.
Mother Teresa did not have really great posture. But your mom is reminding me, sit up.
So many different forms of feminine. Oh my gosh.
Seriously, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all our mothers out there. Oh, this is fun.
Your mom was saying she always knew you had to be in the limelight. From day one.
From day one?
When you found the joy being watched, when you were doing something you
superstar.
loved, that was it.
Being witnessed.
Being witnessed, she's laughing. Oh, she misses hearing your sayings for everything.
My sayings for everything?
Yes.
You do
She
have
said
things.
everything came across a bit in a metaphor or a story. It was never just a red car drove by. You're like, it was red like the cherry on top of an ice cream cone. Like
Oh my
you
gosh,
and your
that's funny.
imagination just you feed everything.
Well, I talk to her all the time, so we're good. I just love her
Solid.
so much.
Solid.
And she comes in just loving and powerful, but just loving and soft and sweet and just the yummy mommy.
Conversational.
Yes.
Like you just talked on the phone last week.
Yeah.
You know, so
did.
there's like no big news. It's just like, hi, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
She was just loving. She was standing next to Mother Teresa.
I know. But Mother Teresa's that's a call to action. That is a call to action. Like people mother the world.
But you know what,
love and help people.
But she's right. I mean, it's if you see it, then it's sort of like if you bend down to pick up the piece of trash, tag you're it. It's your responsibility. You need to go throw it away. I mean, it's the same thing. If you see it, you need to.
I do that with my kids.
Yes, so do I. I've
like, you
stopped the
can't
car and
kick-
made him get out.
Yes, I was like, you can't kick that piece of trash in the park now. Now you've
It's
engaged
yours.
with it. It belongs
It's
to
yours.
you.
Yeah, go do
Pick it up and
Deal
throw it
with
away.
it. Yep. I know. I know. I like you.
Choose to not be blind.
I love that. And there's so much power. We were just saying, my mother and Mother Teresa and all of us, we're so many different flavors of mother. That doesn't come in one size. So forget the comparison that you've got to compare yourself or be like that mom. You be you and do you.
Just come sing your note.
Sing your note, do what lights you up. And it's, your children chose you.
What?
Yeah.
But I know I'm totally in for that. Can we also talk about even being spiritual and being mom has this similar concept that you need to sacrifice yourself to be in that mode of spirituality or
Tried
motherhood?
that, didn't work.
That's for you.
Didn't work.
This conversation's for you.
Didn't work.
How did it not work for you?
You deplete. You deplete me. Yes.
Yeah, you deplete me.
You deplete me.
Thank you.
You had me at hello.
I know, and you deplete me.
And I had to say goodbye.
When you are trying to be a martyr, pour yourself out, it just doesn't work. It works for a little while. You feel like you're helping, and it just doesn't. You're enabling, blah, 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 all that good stuff.
So yesterday, Miles said, my 9-year-old, we were in the car, and he's like, Mom, what do you think the biggest super power is a mom has? Without skipping a beat, I said, guilt. He looked at me, he was like, Mom, that's really good. I was thinking like strength or, I'm like, no, Mom has the guilt superpower. I really try not to do that.
Okay, where were we? I got
Okay. So Bobby's letting us go a little bit over, and so we
Thank
are.
you.
Thank you, Bobby. So,
No, we were talking about being a martyr or being a
sacrifice.
sacrifice or pouring yourself out, that you have to sacrifice yourself to be a mom,
Yes.
a spiritual
Where
mom.
did you find that line?
which line?
I cross it every day. I'm like, oh, I'm over here. Oh, I'm over here. Yeah. So,
You did.
yeah.
I don't.
How did you find it?
Well, I like to describe it as the 1% uncomfortable.
Okay. What does that mean?
So when I'm talking to extremely empathic people, claircognizant, clairsensitive people, and mothers who have the ability, this divine, abundant, compassionate, I'm so compassionate, I'm just going to give. And then 5 days later, they wake up and they have nothing. They're like, oh, I didn't even know I was on the back burner. I was just so busy caring for others because that feeds me. Well, I understand that being compassionate and loving can feed you, but it might not sustain you. So where can we have spirituality, motherhood be thrivable, where we're feeding ourselves, feeding others, and have enough to give to a third party somewhere else? So I boil it down to the 1% uncomfortable. And it's hard to pay attention because we're so used to putting your head down and getting the work done. No pain, no gain. Just ignore it. You're going to get through this. It's going to be okay that they said that and your feelings are now hurt. It's okay. All of that. We're told that it's all okay. But just the 1% uncomfortable, if we acknowledge it and we change our trajectory just that little to get back on being like comfortable,
in that
then
center.
we're not going to experience the martyr, the sacrifice, the burnout. We're not going to experience the just flatline that we get from these things because we're so highly sensitive.
Okay, so I'm not completely clear. So the 1% is that you're okay, like going 1% over, or explain that 1% again.
When you are just this much uncomfortable, just even
that's
the
when you say
lightest
something.
amount.
You don't stuff it. You don't put it away
Oh,
for
I
later. You
love
deal
that.
with it, even if it's 1%.
Yeah. Can you see us now?
But that's being pretty vigilant
No.
then.
Okay. It's freaky.
Because it is. You have to be very disciplined in paying attention to how you feel, because then when you're 1% uncomfortable, it means you've already crossed a boundary. You've already given up something that maybe you don't want to give. Maybe somebody's already breached your boundaries and you didn't become aware of it. Because hindsight's kind of our greatest teacher. As our life is moving so fast, we look back and go, they totally took that from me and I didn't want them to take that from me. But if you would have paid attention in the now, I love Eckhart Tolle always talking about now, staying in it. And if we stay in it and we look towards, am I uncomfortable? Or am I comfortable? Then we can gauge where our boundaries are being pushed or broken, and then we can defend them right in the moment, and we'll never be off our path. Not like there is an absolute path, but that's a good vision to have.
No, it is a good. And there's this tiny word I learned. No.
Ooh.
No. Do you want to chair this event? No, doesn't work for me. But I got a little bit militant with that word. I threw it around a little bit too much for a while.
It's a pretty great word, isn't it?
Yeah, it works. It works. It really does work. So do you also do PTA or room mom? Do you do all this stuff out there? Out in the world?
Did 2 years ago. I was the room mom. I do host parties for the kids and their students or for the teachers. But now I come in and I tell them a bit of my sidekick that gets me grounded is gardening and carpentry work. So I always tell them, listen, if you need anything built, let me know, put in the order. I'll build it for you.
She's got her saws right behind her hanging up on the wall.
Yes, yes.
Those are
That's
those
cool.
are family heirloom saws. Yes.
But see, I ask that because I find that pieces of myself, like I have friends I've not spoken to, Wendy, in a while, and it's like I have pieces of myself that got all spread out, and then I've slowly had to pull them all back in because I found myself just agreeing to things, and I don't know that I necessarily agree with that because it was like a grease spot that just sort of oozed everywhere. So it's like, pulling it back in, and I've been very quiet because I just couldn't. I needed to be grounded for a while and be here.
Yeah.
And so I'm about ready to come out of my cocoon. So.
Well, I think our time is probably winding down. Thank you so much for coming on our
Jamie, you
Joyride
are just
show. We
delightful.
love just having this just fun conversation with you about all things spiritual and mother energy and what's going on there at your Center for Love and Light.
Oh, we want to come out. I want to go to the Akashic Ranch. Did you see that with the horses?
Oh my God, I fly out tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's not near you?
Gosh.
It's Kamloops, Canada, British Columbia,
That's in
and at
Canada?
the Akashic Ranch. She just had a triple rainbow the other day. Never seen anything like that.
Never seen that
It looks
before.
magical.
And she has photographs of energy beams coming down from the sky and doming over her property and her home. And she's been telling me these stories where she wakes up in the middle of the night with beams of light shining in the window. And this is like country. It's not like somebody's car is turning around.
Right.
This is light source coming from no source.
Oh my gosh, we're
God.
going to have to check in with you when you come back from that.
Oh, I'm crossing my fingers. I end up with a lot of great, photos or videos, something of the
Sounds sort of
phenomenon.
alien, which we're trying to
Yeah.
get out to the E-City Ranch
City
this
Ranch. That's up in the
summer,
other
up in
coast.
Washington.
Yes. Is
Yeah.
that the one where he's communicating?
Oh, yeah. You've got the Yetis, you have Jesus, Kuan Yin, lots and lots of aliens, UFOs. So, yeah, we're heading up
keep
there.
reporting to us. We want to
It's
hear
a
how that
vortex.
goes.
Maybe we could do like a tribe thing and all go. Anyway. Oh,
Thank you, Jamie.
you.
So here's
Happy
what we're
Mother's
going to
Day.
do. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to see how many people shared the show. I'm going to have you pick 2 random numbers, and then I will post on Facebook who won the Lighter Side annual subscription. It's such good stuff. People jump on over there to the lightersidenetwork.com because Jamie has just put so much love and wisdom and insight. It's just, you can just swim around in there whenever you want. Thank you, Jamie,
Thank
for
you.
joining us. Thank you for having
Love
us.
you, ladies.
Love you back.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week. We love you.
And we'll see you.
We'll see you guys soon. Okay, I'll post the winners in just a minute, okay?
Okay.